Okay, now we're here at the Mineola train station. There's Old Country Road. And now I'm going to talk about why I'm going to be reverting back to 1990s technology. Well, obviously because it was better and it didn't function as terribly as the technology 3 decades later. Technology is just getting to be way out of hand and out of control. And then social media networks, they're doing a terrible job. Like, I've been locked out of several YouTube accounts before by YouTube. That's just a crime, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that, even though there's a Gmail complication. What I wanted to be able to do is go use older technology so I could get the best experience before the internet became so complex that companies like Google, Apple, and Microsoft are just leaving us in the dark and are refusing to maintain things on their software. And these CEOs are just sick. I'd say that they deserve to get the treatment that Pine Paralaya gets from the bullies. These CEOs are worse than Trump. They're worse than most of the other Republicans, because they just want to end technology altogether. And it's going to cause a chain reaction that'll end even more things that we have conveniently today, because they're going backwards, not forwards. In the 1990s, we were going forwards, so having optical media and VHS tapes, DVDs, that'll actually allow me to watch anything I want, unlike streaming, where these days streaming is limited to whatever shows are available. Back then, you could easily watch whatever you wanted. The stuff you owned was kept forever. That's the magic of optical media that they got rid of. Optical media inside computers, like optical drives, didn't get a proper replacement. And that's where I'm going to be going with the advanced disk technology that holds petabytes of storage in one disk or a disk drive, using the UHS flash storage, which is fast. I'll have my advanced disc music player, a selection of advanced discs, which I'll talk about in another video when Cherry Computer goes to be successful, which it's about to be, because my friend has contacted the people in charge of making it, well, helping me. But as time goes on, search engines are being less accurate. They're unable to handle searches unless you type in something obscure, something you didn't need to do before 2007. And yes, I know 2007 is way after the 90s, but probably worked the best in the 1990s. Search for anything that was on the internet, you'd get it. But today, search for anything, you get the exact opposite. You get nothing you want. And I know that VHS tapes just sucked, but that's where the advanced disc comes in. Other technologies would be there too, like the old gaming consoles. That's why I like the GameCube so much. It's easy to play. Game Boy Advance, it's easy to play on the go. And do you remember the introduction to the turn-on sound from the original PlayStation, how amazing it was? Even though PlayStation 2 had an amazing startup sound. But the software we had in the 1990s and early 2000s, like Windows 95, Windows 98, not Windows ME though, because that was most people say it's a flop. It's nowhere as near as bad as Windows 10 and 11. Windows 2000, Windows XP, all great operating systems except for Windows ME. They didn't have automated updates. That's a plus. Their updates didn't cause malware to enter the computer. See, everything was just perfect back then with computers. Yes, I know dial-up was a mess. If you modify that to have just the sound, but have the speed and efficiency of cable, of like DSL or cable, then that would be a great thing too. Then you had all the TV channels you wanted too. You didn't have to pay for a provider to get you all the TV channels that existed. When the number of TV channels in the 2000s exploded, you had to pay for those extra channels on a cable box. Did you see yourself having to do that when it expanded to like 70 channels in the 90s from like 10 in the 80s? You didn't need to pay for that. These are all good things about the 1990s. But you gotta be careful with TV. The rights. I mean, Apple Silicon is a joke. They're like making computers like the least environmentally friendly. They make them inaccessible to consumers, unupgradable, unrepairable. Makes the repairing process a nightmare for Apple employees, for computers like the Mac Studio or MacBook Air. Just awful. Whatever happened to PGA sockets on laptops? They did a great job at allowing an interchangeable processor. Again, Higgsville train is coming. Talk to you about this later.